The Galactic Council chamber stretched endlessly above them, its crystalline walls refracting the light of 1,000 stars. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the human delegation's podium, her diplomatic credentials gleaming against her navy blue uniform, while the assembled representatives of 47 alien species watched with barely concealed amusement. The humans wished to discuss territorial boundaries, announced Zektar, the Vorthon council speaker, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Again, a ripple of chittering laughter echoed through the chamber. The Kilathi delegation's mandibles clicked, in rhythm, while the gaseous ethereals pulsed with colors that their translators rendered as mocking tones. Honored Council, Ambassador Chen began, her voice steady despite the hostile atmosphere. The human colonies in the Kepler sector require? Interrupted High Commander Vexhai of the Dominion Fleet. His reptilian features twisted into what passed for a sneer among his species. The newest species in the galaxy makes demands? How quaint. More laughter. The Zephyrians fluttered, their wing membranes dismissively, while the crystalline architects chimed in harmonics that resonated like breaking glass. Ambassador Chen maintained her composure. We're not making demands. We're requesting fair consideration for mining rights that were promised during our admission to the Council. Promised by whom? Zektar's voice dripped with condescension. The humans joined our alliance merely 50 years ago. Some of us have been members for millennia. You expect equal treatment? We expect honor, Chen replied firmly. Something I was told this council valued. The chamber erupted in derisive sounds. The hive mind collective of insectoids buzzed in unison, their message clear through the translators. Honor? From a species that wages war on itself? High Commander Vexhai leaned forward, his massive frame casting shadows across the human delegation. Your species' history is written in blood. You wage war over resources, territory, ideology, even over the color of your skin. And now you speak to us of diplomacy? He gestured broadly. We have transcended such primitive behaviors. We have evolved beyond the need for violence. Indeed, added the ethereal representative, its form shifting through colors of superiority. Human diplomacy is an oxymoron. You are a warrior species pretending at civilization. Ambassador Chen felt the weight of their mockery, but she stood straighter. We came here in good faith. Good faith? Zektar's 6 eyes focused on her with laser intensity. Your own records show 3 major global conflicts in your recent past. Nuclear weapons deployed against your own kind. How can a species that cannot achieve peace among itself negotiate peace with others? The chamber fell into what could only be described as smug silence. Ambassador Chen looked around at the assembled aliens, species who had indeed achieved remarkable peace within their own societies, who had transcended internal conflict through various means. The Vorthons through hive mind consensus, the ethereals through emotional suppression, the Dominion through absolute hierarchy. Each had found their path to internal harmony, and perhaps that was exactly the problem. You're right, Ambassador Chen said quietly, her words somehow carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. We are a warrior species. The silence deepened, expectant. But I think, she continued, you've misunderstood what that means. She activated her personal communicator, and the chamber's main display screen flickered to life. Computer, open channel to Earth Command. Ambassador, Zektar's voice carried a warning tone. This is highly irregular. The display screen brightened, showing a simple conference room on Earth. Around a wooden table sat 5 figures in military uniforms, each bearing the insignia of different nations and services. At the head of the table sat a woman with steel-gray hair and the weathered face of someone who had seen too much of war. General Martinez, Ambassador Chen said, thank you for joining us. Would you please introduce your colleagues to the Council? The gray-haired woman nodded. I'm General Elena Martinez, United Earth Defense Force. With me are General Park of the Pacific Defense Command, General Singh of the Commonwealth Forces, General Al-Rashid of the African Union Military, and General Volkov of the Northern Alliance, Navy. The alien representatives shifted uneasily. These humans looked different from their diplomatic counterparts. Harder, more dangerous. General Martinez, Ambassador Chen continued, the Council has expressed concern about humanity's violent tendencies. Could you address those concerns? A slight smile crossed the General's scarred features. Certainly. Honored Council members, it's true. We are a warrior species. We have fought wars that would horrify most of you. We have developed weapons that could sterilize entire worlds. We have quite literally stared into the abyss of mutual annihilation. The chamber was now deathly quiet. But here's what makes us different, General Martinez continued, leaning forward. We learned to point those weapons away from each other. General Singh here? His grandfather fought against my great-uncle in the Third World War. General al-Rashid's father led forces that once considered my nation an enemy. General Volkov and I trained to destroy each other's countries. She gestured to her colleagues, and now we sit at the same table, planning the defense of our entire species. Not because we've transcended our violent nature, but because we've learned to direct it. General Park spoke up, his voice calm but carrying an edge that made several alien representatives step back. Respectfully, Council members, you've achieved peace by eliminating the capacity for conflict. You've bred out aggression, suppressed individual will, or created absolute hierarchies. That's not peace. That's stagnation. We, added General Singh, learned to make war so terrible that we chose peace, but we kept the capacity for both. Ambassador Chen watched as understanding began to dawn on some of the alien faces. The Council mocks human diplomacy because you see it as weakness disguised as strength, but you have it backwards. Our diplomacy is strength choosing to appear as weakness. General Martinez stood, her presence somehow filling the screen. Every treaty we've signed on Earth was negotiated by people who knew exactly what war costs. Every peace agreement was crafted by those who had the power to wage war but chose not to. Our diplomats aren't failed warriors. They're warriors who chose a different weapon. High Commander Vexhai, for the first time since the session began, looked uncertain. What are you saying? I'm saying, Ambassador Chen replied, that you've been negotiating with the wrong humans. The display showed General Martinez pulling up a holographic star chart. The Kepler sector mining rights that Ambassador Chen mentioned, here's our military assessment of the region. The display zoomed in on the contested area. 17 strategic choke points, 4 major asteroid fields with military applications, and direct hyperspace routes to 6 Council member systems. General Volkov's voice was matter-of-fact. From a defensive standpoint, whoever controls this sector could project force across a quarter of Council space. The Dominion has been quite clever in trying to claim it. High Commander Vexhai's scales flushed a deep red, a sign of alarm in his species. Of course, General al-Rashid added conversationally, humanity has no interest in projecting force across Council space. We're quite content with our current territories, but we do require those mining rights for peaceful development. The silence in the chamber was now absolute. Ambassador Chen smiled, an expression that now seemed far more dangerous than it had minutes before. So, honored Council, shall we return to discussing those mining rights? I believe our diplomats can find a solution that satisfies everyone. Zektar's 6 eyes blinked rapidly. The Council will need to reconsider the human proposal. Of course, Chen replied pleasantly. Take all the time you need. Our generals aren't going anywhere. As the session adjourned and the alien representatives filed out in subdued clusters, Ambassador Chen closed the communication channel with Earth. She had learned something important today. Sometimes the best diplomacy was simply reminding others that you had chosen diplomacy at all. In the corridor outside, she heard High Commander Vexhai speaking quietly to his aide. Make a note. Never assume human weakness is weakness. It might just be strength taking a day off. Ambassador Chen smiled to herself. The real secret of human diplomacy wasn't that they had transcended their warrior nature. It was that they had weaponized their choice not to use it.